Y'all know what time it is, man. We come in the same way we leave. We leave the same way we come in. Continue to stay relentless in y'all pursuit to self-improve, to be 1% better every day. And always keep the most high first. Now I started out with saying make sure. I don't want to sound like I'm being demanding because people gonna do what they want to do respectfully. But that's why I say continue. I hope people continue who watch my videos because I make these videos for myself because they're healing for me and for anybody that it resonates with. And it's not about the money for me. I don't care about the subscribers. If I was just, I got 5 right now. If I was to reach 10, 15, 20, if I serve my purpose if I did that. I never did this or came into this thinking about the money aspect of it because I'm sharing my testimony with people to let people know that they're not alone and it's about progression and moving forward. You know, we're not our past. It's all about when you know better, you do better about certain things in your life, and it's about evolving and growing. And anything that's not growing or evolving is dead, right? But nonetheless, y'all, I'm gonna get straight to the point. I came up with this video early this morning. I seen a clip this morning, and it made me think about making. It gave me an idea for this video, and the guy was basically saying like, oftentimes in life we got a lot of people that say they of the Most High and they follow God, and we're living in those times where people show a form of righteousness, but they deny the power thereof. These are the last days that we living in. Like people, they show a form of it, but they deny the power. Meaning they're not going to go through. They're not going to go through the persecution. They're not going to go. They're not going to make the sacrifices. They're not obedient to God each and every day. Most of these people are only lovers of pleasure. A lot of people are. Not everybody, but most people are lovers of pleasure, lovers of themselves, and they're only doing it for if something good happens. But if something bad happens, most people don't turn to God. Everybody can go to God when everything is the car's flowing, the bills are paid, you got food in the house and things of that nature. But when the times that you're down and out, you know, it's a woe is me complex, you know, instead of looking at it as a way to get more closer to the Most High. And but yeah, he was basically saying in this video in a roundabout way that obedience, you know, and he was talking about, and it resonated with me in this way because he was talking about he was in a relationship with a female and with a woman, and but the relationship that he was in, it had no level of stimulation, of growing and going on mental safaris and things of that nature. It was never each one teach one. They wasn't really growing with each other when it comes to spiritual growth. It was just about sex and mortality. And it resonated with me because I grew up with dealing with relationships and having relationships like that as well, where it was just, you know, sexual. It wasn't nothing stimulating. And I've and I said in my last video that it's a lot of women that I turned down. It's also a lot of women that I turned down because I didn't go into depth because, you know, I was in a different I was going a different route in that last video. But part of the reason why I turned a lot of women down, let me turn some air on, y'all. Hold on. Y'all forgive me. Y'all forgive me. But yeah, I turned a lot of women down this year due to last year and this year in the past couple of years due to it didn't ever sit right in my spirit. Part of it was because of my journey, but the other half was because they either some like it was some situations where it didn't sit right in my spirit, so I just walked away, or I just didn't engage in the situation or anything like that. It just never sat right in my gut. And one of the main things that I've learned how to do, especially on this journey, y'all, was listen to my intuition and listen to my gut, because it's never stunned me, it never stung me wrong, it never led me wrong in any way. If it was an environment, if I got invited somewhere and it didn't sit right in my spirit, I never went. And Sometimes certain things happen at those certain events that I came and heard about. You know what I'm saying? So I've always been able to honor my spirit when it comes to relationships, people, places, and things that I place myself around. If it doesn't sit right here, job opportunities I told y'all about in my last video, if it never sat right in my spirit, I walked away from it or I declined it. Just like, you know, when it comes to relationships and things of that nature, or dealing with certain particular women. Now, it could have been women at a particular time that were possibly, it was also women that possibly could have been good candidates, but I wasn't in alignment with it. And it wasn't in alignment with what God was taking me. But it was also women that I had conversations with that it never sat right in my spirit after having one or two conversations with them. Sometimes certain things don't take a long time. Sometimes God lets you know who people are and what their intentions and their motives are after a couple of conversations. It really don't take long, especially when you have experience in that field, and also when you're walking with God, because He's gonna give you discernment and wisdom to let you know what's for you and what's not. But I say all that to say this, like, he was talking about in this video about basically like it was just sex. Basically, it was nothing. It wasn't no mental safaris they went on. It wasn't nothing that he could learn from her, and it wasn't nothing that he can learn or teach from them. And oftentimes in life, most people want to follow God, but they can't do it because they know that they can either lose acceptance from the world, they may lose material things that wasn't sent from the Most High. Because most of the things that we get, most things we get in this life, most people, yes, people work for those things, but oftentimes we get it out of our own greed. We do it for attention, and that's basically what he was hitting on. People are not willing to get up the attention. They're not willing to have delayed gratification. We get material things and certain things, and take certain, and to go to certain events or trips for most people don't do those things for themselves. They do those things for attention. And I can talk about those things and speak with those things because it resonates with me in this way, because I used to be of the world. I used to I came from a hurt place when I did a lot of those things, because I came from that mindset of being looked at as the black sheep growing up, or feeling rejected. And it wasn't that I was rejected, it was just the fact that God was basically separating me and setting me apart from the wheat and the tares. And so I had that mindset. I'm gonna get all the cars, I'm gonna get all the shoes, get all the clothes, get all the women, get women, or whatever the case may be, and I'm gonna show people that this is what you overlook when when I was coming up, and I had that mindset, I had that chip on my shoulder, and it was the wrong mentality for me to have. And I acquired a lot of things, a lot of cars. I gained cars, money, shoes, and all those other things, and all the things that people love and glorify nowadays. And I acquired a lot of those things, but I still felt empty inside. Even with me doing all that, growing up in society, I acquired a lot of things, but I still felt empty. Even when I didn't have a car, because it was times where I didn't have a car. I caught Max Transit to go to work at one particular point in time, but I still had nice things. I acquired a lot of nice things from working, but I did those things out for attention and greed. I didn't wait on the Lord. I did those things out of my own selfish desires, for attention, for likes, for clicks, for views, for comments, things of that nature, things that people, still glorify to this day. But I don't judge people at the same time. I'm just using it because I resonated with his message, because everybody has their time and their chance, and you have some people that just not gonna get it. They just one of them. They're on the left hand side, but we're not talking about them. Lord is not dealing with those type of people. But I say all that to say this, like, he talked about that lust thing, and that's another thing, that's another element when I make these videos. It was a point in time, y'all, and I'm getting real deep once again, because these videos help me as well as whoever watches these videos, and whoever they come across. It may not hit now, it may hit 5 years from now, 10 years from now. You know what I'm saying? It's just to help people along their journeys, to let you know that you're not alone. But back when I was young, like in my early 20s, like I said, I struggled with that a lot. It started in my late teens. It started around my mid to late teens into my early 20s, and I struggled with that lust demon. And those are the things that I had to sacrifice was dying to the flesh every day. And that just doesn't come with, things that I love in the flesh. It also comes with, not being at certain environments and not being around certain people that you sometimes love, but you got to love from a distance because y'all just not on the same page, y'all ain't on the same frequency. So it comes with a lot of persecution once again. But at the same time, I struggle with this lust demon from my youth on up. It started as a teenager, as a young teenager, and I start in it spiraled into my early 20s, and it's still something that I battle with, but it's something that I use it now. I transform that energy into something positive now. So I used to be, for the lack of a better term, a one-handed bandit a lot when I was young, and of course I engaged in, once again, sex and mortality then as well. But one day I engaged in that activity, and I was like, because this is how gifted that I knew that I was, and I knew I had this in me, but I was scared to arrive here, in fear of losing acceptance from the world, and just fear of just being looked at as weird, or whatever the case may be, or something wrong with me, or whatever. I was scared to arrive here. I knew I had it in me always, but I was scared to arrive here. And it was also other aspects as well that I'm gonna get into as well on why I was scared to arrive here as well. But I had that demon, and like I said, involving myself in sexual activities and one-handed bandits. Men know what I'm talking about when I say this. And one day I engaged in that activity, and I was like, and I felt every time I engaged in that activity, I felt a level of guilt. I felt a level of guilt, like, why is you doing this? Like, what is your purpose of doing this? If you feeling guilt-ridden, if you feeling like you're violating yourself, you're mutating yourself, why is you engaging in it? Of course, I was thinking out loud. I was having these conversations with myself, because I didn't have a father growing up, as a lot of people didn't know. So I had to talk to myself and vent to myself. And even when I wasn't living right in alignment with the Most High, I still had conversations with myself, as I will do now. I have conversations with myself as well as have conversations with God. When I talk to myself, I know God is listening as well. But back then, I know God was listening then, but I wasn't living right at the same time. But it was me. But at the same time, I can look at that as a form of me talking to God, because I was holding myself accountable. Like, you feel embarrassed when you do this activity. You feel like you mutating yourself, you're violating yourself in more way. You feel a level of guilt, you feel a level of shame engaging in this activity. Why are you continuing to do this? This is not right. You have a problem. This is what of course I was saying this in my mind. You have a problem, and we got to fix this problem. We got to work on this. We got to do something about this. This is the conversation I was having with myself. I think I was like 20, 21 years old. This is how gifted I was, and I was far beyond my time with holding myself accountable, because I didn't like being held accountable then. I didn't like accountability. I didn't like admitting when I was wrong. I felt like it was either my way or the highway. Those are other things that I struggled with as well, not admitting when I was wrong about certain things. You know what I'm saying? I always used to hold grudges a lot. And when you don't learn from lessons in your life, you tend to stay stuck in those lessons, because without accountability and repentance, there's no growth. You will never grow. And so, but at the same time, I held myself accountable with that, because I felt a level of shame and a level of guilt with engaging in that activity. You got to go by yourself and do it. You got to be by yourself. You got to lock a closet or lock a door to do it. Like, like, you feel me? Like, that's the level of guilt. That means that I shouldn't have been engaging in that activity. But at the same time, we all done been through that in our lives, and none of us are perfect, right? But one day I just said, we're gonna do something about this. So that last day that I did, I think that was around around September of 2018. I said, we're gonna stop this. We're gonna stop this. And I just went cold turkey and stopped it. I just stopped it. And not knowing the benefits of it, because I didn't know what I was doing back then. I just knew I had a problem. But knowing now, protecting your seed is very important as a man. It's very important because you got to be mindful of who you're impregnating and why you're impregnating them, and you got to have a future for your children's and your children's children. You got to have all these things planned out before having children. Children are stocks, they're investments. You have to invest in them. You got to put a lot of time, energy, and effort into these kids, especially nowadays with the world that we're living in. And quite frankly, I really don't blame people for not having children now due to the world that we're living in. It's crazy out here. I understand all that, but if you was to want to engage in that, you have to have a plan and future set aside for your children, and you and that person that you have a child with, y'all have to be in alignment. Y'all have to be equally yoked. Two can't walk together unless they be in agreement, right? But I say all that to say this. So yeah, I didn't know the benefits of protecting your seed, but I stopped engaging in sexual activities. I stopped self-mutilating myself for like 6 months. I went like a 6-month stretch with doing that, not knowing the benefits of abstinence, semen retention, and for women is celibacy, right? And I didn't understand what I was getting myself into. I just wanted to stop because it was a habit that I had to stop. It was something that I was doing every day, and I can admit that now because I've grown since then. It was something that I was ashamed to talk about prior years and years ago. Like I wouldn't be able to talk to y'all about this stuff back in 2020, 2021, things of that nature. I probably wouldn't be able to talk to y'all about this stuff even last year. That's how far I am with my growth and where I'm going. But I engaged in a lot of those activities, and not knowing the benefits of what I was doing, I noticed when I went a 6-month stretch of not doing it, I had a lot of energy. I had a lot of focus. And my conversations with people was a lot better. And part of that was because part of why my conversations wasn't as good with people, because when you lose a parent and you witness death happen, you witness a murder actually happens, it kind of traumatizes you and it numbs you in a way that you can't even explain. And that was part of it. I suppressed a lot of those things internally, not knowing that I was suffering. I didn't know I was suffering. I just thought that it's just who I am. And I'm still laid back, but I know how to have conversations with people, but I have to be around people that's going to understand me and understand the vibe that I'm on. Being around me, I understand. I'm not trying to put myself in some type of high plateau because I'm not, but I know being around me comes with great responsibility, and I can't have people around me that are not in alignment with where God is trying to take me. So I'm not judging people on their journey, but I can't be in alignment with people who are not in alignment with where I'm going. It doesn't mean that they're bad people or anything like that. It's just I'm growing and you have growing that you have to do. I love people enough to know that I love you, but I love myself enough to know that I don't want to be around things that is going to take me off of my path of growth or on my path of what God is trying to take me. I have enough love to tell people the truth in that particular way. Still love you, but I just got to love you from a distance, respectfully. Right? I'm really talking to myself when I said that, and for anybody that resonate with, by the way. But anyway, yeah, not knowing the benefits of that. I had a lot of energy, a lot of focus. I had a lot of time to do it. I had a lot of time to get certain things done. My conversations with people was a lot better, even with women. And it wasn't nothing sexual or anything like that. It was just my conversations was a lot better with them. And for the most part, they was approaching me. They was coming towards. They was approaching me on that type of trying to have conversations with me, and trying to get certain things going with me and things of that nature. Like it just happened naturally. Everything around me was just organic. I was in school at that time. I had more focus to study and read. I like to read. I like to go for walks and things of that nature. I like to bowl as well. Like, it's certain hobbies that I enjoyed. I had a lot of time and energy. I had a lot of energy to walk and take and just focus. I had a level of focus around that time that was just crazy. Like, it was just I had a whole different level of focus. My fitness routine was so much better. Like, I was into fitness a little bit back then and things of that nature. And of course I fell off for it. But now, as soon as I got to 2020, I started my journey in 2020 and I ain't looked back. I fell off then, back in 2018. I stayed on it for a couple of months, then I fell off. So I stayed on the journey for about 6 months. And I didn't know, I just knew I had a problem. And I just wanted to stop doing it. And a lot of those benefits came from that. It's a lot of benefits with protecting your seed and not mutilating yourself and things of that nature, and watching corn and all this other stuff. I'm not gonna say the actual word, but like I said, it's benefits to all those things. And women, especially women who are very intuitive, they know a man who engages in those activities. For all my brothers that watch this video, and for all my men that watch this video, women can pick up on creep energy. Like, they know that they like, especially women who are very intuitive. They are very spiritual people. They pick up on that type of energy. They know when you coming off, and they know when you're mutilating yourself and doing those type of things. They know that we indulge in those type of things. They know the man who do it, and they know the man that does do it. That does, and then they know the men that don't do it. You know what I'm saying? So women are very intuitive, and that's the powerful thing of why we should protect our seeds as men. It's very important. It's very important. Like, it's very, very important. But I say all that to say this, like, yeah, women pick up on that type of stuff. So that's why it's very important to make sure that we guard our seeds at all times. We're staying focused on our missions and our purposes at hand. Purpose is number one. Like, it's purpose first, always. And of course, I went on this journey for 6 months, and then that's when I met my son's mother, and I got in a relationship with her. And long story short, whoop de whoop, you got a child, things of that nature. And and yeah, so I fell off the journey, and this is how tricky the devil can be. Like, when you, like, that's how I know looking at certain things now is very spiritual, because I was on the journey then, and at one point me and her, like, we kind of fell out a little bit, and she hit me up one day, and she ended up working at the same job at the time that I was working at, and we linked back up and we got together. But that's how spiritual certain things can be. Like, if you're not in control of where God is trying to take you, and I wasn't even, and to be honest with you, I wasn't even really following God like I was supposed to around. I just wanted to stop that habit. But it does tie into this way. If you're not staying focused and locked in on your mission, and a woman can come in, like I said in my last video, a woman can only be a distraction for a man unless that man allows that woman to be a distraction for him, right? And I'm not gonna sit here and say that she was a distraction or anything like that, because, like I said, I don't regret anything. I don't regret my child. I don't regret having my child with her in any way, shape, or form, because it was meant to happen. Because it's the growth that y'all see right now is because of him, and the growth that you see is because of him. I wanted to be better for him. I went on my fitness journey because of him, because I can't hold myself accountable, because I was 240 pounds, 245 pounds at the time. I can't hold my son accountable and tell him that he needs to stay healthy and eat the right things if I'm not doing it. I can't. I got to practice what I preach. So I made a vow to myself when I had my son, y'all, I was never gonna be fat again. I was never gonna, because I was sluggish, I was tired, I had bad energy, I thought fucked up, excuse my language, but I was a very negative person around that time to be around, and a lot of those things stem from my daddy issues. Like, you know, it stemmed from a lot of those things as well. But I say all that to say this, like, I don't regret anything. And so when you're not on, so I say all to say, when you're on your path, and it's gonna be distractions, like I said in my last video, that come in your life. But if you're walking with God, of course he's gonna give you clarity, he's gonna give you understanding, he's gonna let you know the people that needs to be in your life. He's gonna let you know the people that don't need to be in your life. He's gonna let you know early. He's gonna like, the flags is gonna be there. The red flags is gonna be there. And sometimes, as men, we ignore our better judgment sometimes because we have that lust demon sometimes. You know what I'm saying? We like I can resonate with it because I struggle with that. I battled with that. You know what I'm saying? So I understand what people go through when it comes to that demon, and how dangerous it really can be if you're not careful. If you're not focused, it can ruin your life. It can really mess up your progression in this life. So it's very for all my young men out here, man, and for all the people that's my age that don't have kids or anything like that, stay focused on your mission, man. Like I said, like, if you meet a nice woman, if you meet a woman that's gonna help you along your journey, that's a beautiful thing. I can't think of the scripture right now, but I will say this: like, a great woman is a very great gift from God. So if you meet a great woman, if you come across a great woman, that's a beautiful thing, you know. But purpose is always number one. And that's the main thing on this journey, y'all. Like I said, I met my son's mother, and I fell off the journey. And when I had him, I fell off the journey for about a year. Got fat, blew up. And when I had him, like I said, I was just trying to be a good example for him. And I'm still to this day trying to be the best example that I can be for him. But like I said, man, it's a lot, but it's still a work in progress with me each and every day, as well as we all are. But yeah, I had to hold myself accountable, and that started with the fitness aspect and staying. And I said I was never gonna be fat again. I made a vow to myself I was never gonna know what it's like to be fat ever again, to feel sluggish, to feel sloppy ever again. My son, he gives me a lot of motivation to want to do better. And of course, you know, my family, my people, and things of that nature give me the motivation to get better. God, healing. I wanted to heal for my son. I didn't want to pass traumatic experiences on my son and on any children that I tend to have in the future. I don't want to pass them on my kids or anything like that, because kids are innocent. They don't ask to be here. You want to, when you got a good heart, you want what's best for the people that's around you. And I want what's best for everybody that's around me. That's just how I always been wired my whole life. And that's the reason why I dropped this message for y'all, man. Because it's gonna help somebody, and it's helping me once again. Like I said, it's not about the money for me. I just love doing it, and it makes me feel good to drop these messages for people, because it helps me heal. It lifts a big weight off my shoulder. And that clip that I seen, it gave me the idea instantly to drop this video, because it resonated to me in so many ways, right? But that's all I got for this video, y'all, man. I just wanted to drop this message for y'all. I ain't even worked out yet. You know what I'm saying? That's how serious this message was, bro. Like, of course I did the basic things and things of that nature, but I wanted to drop this message first. I normally work out, then then if I have a video idea, I make the video. But then I did it a little bit different. I made this video first. Now I'm finna go have a great workout, right? But anyway, I love y'all, man. I got more content on the way. I'm still in my readings as well, but this was just a message that was very, very, very important to me to make, and it resonated with my spirit, and I hope it resonates with people across the world, wherever it reaches, right? But I got more content on the way, man. Y'all stay tuned. Y'all hit that like button, comment, share, subscribe if you're new, man. To the next video. We come in the same way we leave. We leave the same way we come in. Y'all already know what time it is, man. Continue to stay relentless in y'all pursuit. Self-improve to be 1% better every day. And always keep the Most High first. Always. To the next video. I love you all. Peace.